Chi Haoran's venomous voice echoed through the passageway. "Damn it, you bastard!" The next moment, Chi Haoran's attack missed its mark, and Xiao Yan's group had vanished. It was obvious that they must have slipped through the gap and entered the ruins. "This guy does have some skills," Song Yu commented nonchalantly. After all, Xiao Yan was not someone to be underestimated. At this point, our only option is to join forces and break the seal. It will cost us a significant amount of do qi, but it's the only way, Chi Haoran suddenly spoke up. Sigh, who would have thought? Some of the disciples from the super sects let out soft sighs of resignation. Move now. If we delay any longer, everything will be gone. Chi Haoran sneered and launched the first strike, his power far surpassing his earlier attacks. Boom, boom, boom. Seeing this, the others followed suit, no longer holding back. Although Xiao Yan's actions seemed a bit unscrupulous, it was clear that he had figured out the others had been keeping some tricks up their sleeves, so it was reasonable for him to hold back as well. Boom, boom, boom. As the super sect disciples unleashed their full strength, the once sturdy iron gate began to shake violently, and even the 8 trigrams formation on the gate started to tremble. After Xiao Yan's group had caused a disturbance, the formation was clearly on its last legs. Still not enough. Chi Haoran growled, increasing his power yet again. Following his lead, the others gritted their teeth and poured even more force into their attacks. With such overwhelming power surging into the iron gate, it finally gave way. With a deafening bang, it shattered into countless pieces, scattering into the air like dust. Go! Chi Haoran, seeing the seal on the iron gate broken, didn't hesitate. He shot into the ruins like a streak of lightning. The other super sect experts, seeing this, wasted no time either and followed him in without a second thought. Swoosh, swoosh. With the destruction of the iron gate, the ruins were fully exposed to the crowd. Everyone's eyes lit up with greed as they rushed forward, scrambling to enter. At last, the ruins had fully opened, and more people began pouring in. As for who would eventually claim the great fortune, that remained to be seen. Heh, Xiao Yan, that move of yours was something else. Mu Feng laughed as they were the first to enter the ruins. He even gave Xiao Yan a thumbs up for his quick thinking. Can you really blame me? Didn't you notice those guys were all playing a game of the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind? There's no such thing as a free lunch in this world, Xiao Yan chuckled. Let's get moving. Now that we've entered the ruins, we should first find your fire of life and death before going to the main hall to seize the inheritance, Xiao said, her tone serious. Do you think those guys might beat us to the inheritance? Xiao Yan asked, though his priority was still the fire of life and death. Don't worry. I have the inheritance runes on me. It won't be easy for them to get to it. Besides, I sense there's a terrifying presence near the inheritance. Whatever it is, it's far stronger than even senior sister. Yuru spoke softly. Far stronger? Xiao Yan was stunned by her words. Xiao Qi's strength was at the early 7-star Do D level. If something even stronger than that was guarding the inheritance, then, let's go. Xiao Yan didn't hesitate any longer and swiftly led the group towards a certain direction. Just after Xiao Yan's group slipped through the gap in the iron gate and entered the ruins, they immediately felt the overwhelming ancient aura that filled the air. If it weren't for Xiao Yan's protective soul power, they would have been suppressed by it. But something strange was happening. Since entering the ruins, they found themselves still inside a white spatial corridor, unsure of where it led. This corridor must connect to an inner space of the ruins. Follow the light. Xiao Yan sensed the end of the path not far ahead and gave his command. Understood. Everyone nodded in agreement and followed him. Before long, a bright light appeared in front of them. It's the exit. Mu Feng was the first to shout excitedly. Watch out. Mu Feng was quick to charge toward the light, but Xiao Yan sensed something wrong and immediately warned him. Whoa. Mu Feng, too excited, suddenly found himself feeling light, his feet not touching anything solid beneath him, and he let out a cry. I told you to be careful, Xiao Yan scolded lightly, grabbing Mu Feng by the collar just in time. What is this place? Mu Feng, now held safely by Xiao Yan, looked out in awe. What he saw was shocking. They were suspended in the sky, standing on nothing but the thin spatial corridor. Below them, there was a vast expanse of deep blue ocean. Xiaoyan couldn't help but exclaim. What unfolded before his eyes was a boundless, vast ocean of deep blue. The sound of waves crashing against the rocky shore was harsh, a stark contrast to the much smaller Xinling Imperial pool he had visited before. That pool, though impressive at several thousand zhang wide, paled in comparison to this ocean, which spanned at least hundreds of thousands of zhang. What is that? Xiao Yan's momentary surprise gave way to focus, as his eyes locked onto 3 massive islands suspended above the ocean. The 3 islands seemed to be connected by an unseen force, holding them firmly in place, and beneath them lay the vast, turbulent ocean. The exact reason for their suspension was a mystery to them all. The island to the east is the smallest, and I can faintly sense a flame aura, fire of life and death, must be there, Mu Yingying said, a frown creasing her brow as she spoke to Xiaoyan. I feel it too, Xiaoyan nodded slightly in agreement. The 3 islands, arranged in a triangular formation, were 2 larger ones and 1 smaller. Xiaoyan had a distinct feeling that the 2 larger islands existed solely to protect the 3rd one. Strange. What is that feeling? Yuru murmured to herself, her gaze fixed on the topmost island of the triangle. At the same time, a mysterious rune on her forehead began to glow even brighter. The smallest island on the left, that's where the fire of life and death is. The one on the right, it's filled with ominous energy. I suspect that's where the battle soul lies, Xiaoyan said slowly. And the island at the top, it's dangerous, hiding something deadly. There's even a faint trace of purple. It's likely the inheritance ground. He added thoughtfully. Watch out. Xiuqi suddenly warned, breaking the group's concentration on the islands above. Before anyone could react, the spatial passage they had traveled through abruptly vanished. In the blink of an eye, Xiaoyan and the group plummeted toward the ocean below at comet-like speed, falling so fast they were like bolts of lightning. Damn it! Xiaoyan cursed as the group hurtled downwards. For some unknown reason, the moment the spatial tunnel disappeared, their ability to fly was sealed. Despite their immediate attempt to use their flight abilities, it was as if something was blocking them, rendering their efforts useless. They were now free-falling from a dangerous height, which could easily result in serious injuries. Soul power. Xiaoyan reacted quickly. As the group was about to hit the water, he called out, his voice sharp with urgency. At his command, radiant soul energy surged forth, cushioning their fall and slowing their descent. With a collective splash, the group plunged into the cold, blue ocean. Ah! Lung Fuyao yelped as soon as she submerged in the water. What's wrong? Qing Xian, who had a close bond with Lung Fuyao, immediately asked. Qing Xian, this water is freezing. Lung Fuyao shivered uncontrollably, her body trembling from the cold. Leave it to me. Xiaoyan acted without hesitation, activating his burning technique to envelop the group in a warm, fiery aura. The intense heat surrounded them, creating a barrier between them and the freezing water. Miraculously, the flames remained undiminished even underwater. Be cautious, Xiaoyan warned as he sensed the water's unnaturally low temperature. This ocean is far from ordinary. The group nodded, instantly becoming more alert. How do we get up there? Xiaoyan mused aloud, gazing at the 3 gigantic islands floating high above them. Impressive, Mu Yingying whispered under her breath. Indeed, the sheer size of the islands was daunting, and she could sense some kind of barrier surrounding them, adding to their mystery. Let's go take a look, Xiaoyan said decisively. I'm afraid the only way to reach the islands is from below, he added after sensing their surroundings with his soul power. Swim? Mu Yingying frowned slightly at the suggestion. The group had several women, and not many of them were skilled swimmers. I can't swim, Yuru admitted with a wry smile. Neither can I, Long Fuyao echoed, her voice filled with reluctance. Xiaoyan was left speechless, his head dropping in frustration. Fine, you all stay here. I'll go check things out, he finally said, shaking his head. I'll go with you. From what I sensed here, there doesn't seem to be any danger. The rest of you stay here and wait for us, Xiao remarked. All right, Xiao replied without any hesitation. Xiao had a natural affinity for fire, which made him a formidable force in combat. However, in the middle of this vast ocean, his battle prowess was greatly diminished. So, having Xiao accompany him was a relief. Got it. Be careful. There's something strange beneath those 3 islands. Yuru's pupils suddenly contracted, as if she had caught a glimpse of something. Mu Feng, keep an eye on these guys, Xiao instructed. Then, without further delay, he and Xiao headed toward the area directly below the 3 islands. Why not try flying? Xiao suggested as soon as they left the main group, still a bit skeptical about their surroundings. The space here was highly peculiar. The moment they entered, a pressure had weighed down on Xiao, making him uncomfortable. The disappearing spatial passageways had also caused trouble for the group. Give it a try, Xiao said with a smile, watching Xiao intently. Although Xiao was currently at the perfect 6-star Do D level, just shy of reaching 7-star Do D, Xiao couldn't shake the feeling that this guy was far more capable than he appeared. Rise. At Xiao words, flames burst from Xiao body, propelling him forward and putting some distance between himself and Xiao. Walk on air. Xiao shouted, pushing against the air to remain above the water. Oh? But instead of hovering like usual, he plummeted back into the sea with a loud splash. With a heavy thud, Xiao found himself back in the water. Forget about it. The waters here must be infused with some kind of special power. We haven't encountered anything unusual yet, but it seems like it's preventing us from flying, Xiao observed with an amused look. Let's go. Xiao dropped the idea and continued to swim toward the area beneath the 3 islands. As Xiao and Xiao moved further away, Mu Feng fell into silence. Qin Xian took a step forward, glancing toward Yuru with a hesitant expression. If there's something you want to say, go ahead, Yuru offered, noticing Qin Xian's curiosity. Are you the so-called inheritor of this ancient site? Qin Xian shook her head slightly. According to her senses, there was indeed a mysterious power within Yuru, one that closely resembled the energy from one of the 3 islands. That's right. Yuru didn't deny it, and replied plainly. It seems you and Xiao are pretty close. Qin Xian suddenly shifted the topic. It's not like that, Yuru replied, uncertain about Qin Xian's intentions. Just as Yuru finished speaking, Mu Ying, who had been standing quietly nearby, directed her gaze at Yuru. Both of these women are quite intimidating. Yuru carries the mantle of an inheritor, with a bright future ahead. Mu Ying, on the other hand, possesses a power that even I find unsettling. What kind of person is Xiao to have both of them care about him like this? There's more to Xiao than meets the eye. But as long as he harbors no ill intentions, forming a friendship with someone so promising could prove useful when I try to unify the empire. My injuries have stabilized thanks to the Xianin pill. I suppose I'll just accompany them on this expedition, Qin Xian pondered to herself. Women? Mu Feng murmured, watching the tense atmosphere between the two, feeling a wave of exasperation. He couldn't help but sigh. Women really are complicated. Let's just wait for Xiao and the others to return for now. There are too many unknowns in this ancient site. Mu Ying added softly, then fell silent again. For reasons she couldn't quite explain, Mu Ying felt a sense of hostility toward Yuru, one that had emerged ever since Yuru found Xiao at the incense pavilion. Even Mu Ying herself couldn't pinpoint when her feelings for Xiao had shifted into something deeper. As Xiao and Xiao ventured further away, the surface of the blue ocean suddenly began to surge and roil. The intense pressure caused their expressions to shift, forcing them to halt in their tracks, frustration evident on their faces. The closer we get to the area beneath the 3 islands, the more violent the waves become. And these waters contain a tremendous pressure. What a strange phenomenon, Xiao remarked. Both he and Xiao were enveloped in powerful flames, preventing even a drop of water from touching them. We're getting close to the island's entrance now. Xiao glanced upward and suddenly spoke. At this moment, the two were just meters away from reaching the base of the 3 islands. However, they didn't rush forward, as they quickly noticed that the water temperature here was significantly different from other areas. But more importantly, Xiao could sense an overwhelming and terrifying presence emanating from the depths beneath the three islands. You noticed it too? Xiao said in a low voice, his aura instantly concealed, not leaking even a trace. It seems we have to pass under the islands to enter, but there's something down there watching us like a predator, Xiao said cautiously, his voice filled with vigilance. With Xiao soul power at the minor perfection of the Earth-class Imperial realm and his possession of the sacred flame along with the strength of a perfect 6-star Do-D, the fact that whatever was below could make him feel threatened spoke volumes about its terror. Since we're already here, why not take a look? Don't worry, even if it's unbeatable, I'm confident I can get us out safely, Xiao said with a smile. Was it that spatial teleportation technique just now? Xiaoqi's interest peaked, and he stared at Xiao with curiosity. Space-related techniques, like alchemists, were extremely rare. Xiaoqi couldn't help but admire Xiao mastery of such advanced Do techniques. Don't get your hopes up. While that spatial technique can teleport well enough, it has its limitations, Xiao replied. That thing's power is terrifying. It could likely rival an 8-star Do-D. So, how confident are you? Xiaoqi asked, without a hint of fear, and in fact, there was a glimmer of eagerness in his eyes. As expected from a top disciple of the Myriad Flowers Pavilion, so fearless. Xiao shook his head slightly. It's worth a try, Xiao responded after a moment. Let's go. Xiaoqi grinned when he saw Xiao wasn't backing down. Over the past few days of traveling together, Xiaoqi had developed a vague sense of Xiao character, but hearing him say this still left him a bit surprised. The two swam slowly, each step carefully observing their surroundings, ready to strike at the slightest sign of danger. By the way, I'm not nearly as strong in the water. Xiao scratched his head, clearly feeling a bit embarrassed. I know. Your fire attribute is naturally countered by water. And since I have wind attribute, leave it to me. Xiaoqi was well aware of Xiao disadvantage, given that most members of the Incense Pavilion wielded fire attributes, which meant their combat abilities would be weaker in deep-sea environments. Get ready. We're approaching the area beneath the islands. Xiaoqi's expression darkened, looking especially wary. Understood, Xiao responded, his vigilance sharpening as well. Boom. Just as they took their first step beneath the islands, a deafening roar suddenly erupted. Not good. Xiao eyes widened in shock. That terrifying roar sent a bone-chilling fear straight to his soul. Retreat. Xiaoqi knew they had provoked something by entering this area and quickly called out. Splash. As Xiao and Xiaoqi tried to retreat, a massive water column, easily over 100 feet tall, shot up from the depths, targeting them directly. Windshield. Xiaoqi shouted. In an instant, an invisible wall of wind appeared before the two of them, trying to block the terrifying water column. Boom. The water column smashed into Xiaoqi's windshield, and he immediately felt an enormous pressure bearing down on him. His wind wall began to buckle under the strain. Fire, come forth. Xiao, enduring the discomfort, summoned his imperial flame with a burst of energy, directing it toward the water column. The wind shield had already weakened the power of the water column, and just as it was about to break through, Xiao's sudden burst of fire struck, causing the column to disperse into a harmless flow of water, dissipating into the sea. Damn it! That creature is incredibly strong. Xiaoqi, now sensing the immense power of the mysterious entity, let out a cold snort. I'm not afraid of heaven or earth, but to think I'd be so restricted in this ocean. Xiao couldn't help but feel a bit frustrated. His imperial flame and sacred flame were severely weakened in this strange sea, only performing at half their usual strength. For someone like Xiao, known for his overpowering might, this was incredibly frustrating. Be careful. It's still here, Xiao warned, despite his weakened fire abilities. His keen soul senses remained unaffected. I know. Watch this. Wind's protection. In the next moment, a white cyclone began to form under Xiaoqi's feet. How powerful! Xiao murmured as he watched the surrounding white whirlwind isolate the ocean from them, instantly restoring him to peak condition. His evaluation of Xiaoqi rose to another level. The ocean below seemed infused with some mysterious force, making it impossible to walk on air and chillingly cold. Yet, Xiao whirlwind had carved out a 10-meter-wide space around the two of them, draining all the seawater from within. Boom, boom, boom. As Xiao made this move, the mysterious creature lurking in the depths seemed provoked. It let out another deafening roar, and in an instant, 10 even more ferocious water pillars, each over 100 meters tall, shot up from the deep sea. Their power was far greater than the previous one. "Let me handle this," Xiao said with a smile, seeing Xiao prepare to act again. Earlier, he had been submerged in the seawater, which restricted the power of his flames. But now, with the water around them displaced by Xiao whirlwind, Xiao was back to his true peak. Grand heavenly creation palm. Xiao let out a cold laugh, smashing through two of the water pillars with a single palm strike. Without hesitation, the ancient ruler of heavenly flames appeared behind him, radiating an intense, scorching heat as he launched another attack. 7-layered Skybreaker ruler. First strike, second strike, third strike, fourth strike. In no time, Xiao unleashed 4 massive flaming rulers, each one bursting with overwhelming firepower. All 10 water pillars were completely neutralized by his assault. Not bad. Seems like this guy's got some real strength. Xiao, watching Xiao ferocity, casually offered some praise. Though the creature's 10 water pillar attacks were fierce, with Xiao early 7-star Do-D strength, they weren't difficult to handle. As the water pillars shattered, the surface of the sea began to tremble violently. Countless bubbles surged up, as though some enormous creature was about to emerge. The surrounding temperature plummeted. "It's coming." Xiao eyes narrowed, focusing coldly on the bubbling surface of the sea, his guard immediately up. Both Xiao and Xiao held their breath, watching the sea cautiously. Splash! A moment later, the sea erupted with massive waves, and a colossal creature appeared before them. "This is a heavenly demon whale?" Xiao voice was strained as he stared at the enormous beast before them, shocked. "Heavenly demon whale?" Xiao echoed, puzzled, but feeling his own insignificance in the presence of the creature's gargantuan form, which spanned several thousand meters. The heavenly demon whale. It said that such creatures only existed in ancient times. They're extremely savage and bloodthirsty, the embodiment of slaughter. Its presence means there must be a great treasure within this ruin. That's why the heavenly demon whale is also known as a treasure guardian. Xiao explained, word by word. And this one's fully grown. An adult heavenly demon whale's power is comparable to a human at the early 8-star Do-D level. This is going to be troublesome. Xiao added with a bitter smile. "Let's see how things go first. If it doesn't work out, we'll retreat," Xiao said, knowing they had to pass through here to reach the treasure on the 3 islands. There was no avoiding this confrontation. Roar! As soon as the heavenly demon whale broke the surface, it let out a thunderous roar. Its entire body was elliptical, with menacing eyes radiating pure malice. Its enormous tail gently slapped the water, and its blue body blended perfectly with the surrounding ocean, making it hard to distinguish from the water if one wasn't paying close attention. Its massive body stretched thousands of meters, and that was with a significant portion still submerged beneath the waves. If it were to fully emerge, the sight would be utterly overwhelming. "Damn humans again." The heavenly demon whale bellowed in fury, its eyes glaring hatefully at Xiao and Xiao, as though it wanted nothing more than to devour them whole. "This creature clearly harbors a deep hatred for humans," Xiao observed, noting the whale's extreme rage upon seeing them, his expression growing serious. "The creature's strength is at the early 8-star Do-D level, and being in the water gives it a massive advantage. Even a mid-8-star Do-D would struggle to cause any significant harm to it," Xiao analyzed slowly. "Die." The heavenly demon whale suddenly stopped speaking and, with a savage gleam, unleashed a blast of blue energy from its massive maw, aiming straight for Xiao and Xiao. Boom, boom, boom. The dazzling energy attack left Xiao with no time to hesitate. He swiftly darted into action. This creature's power was far too terrifying. What do we do now? Xiao, who had initially held some confidence in their chances, was gradually losing hope. The terror of the heavenly demon whale had far surpassed what she could handle. We push through, Xiao replied in a low, firm voice. Though Xiao was at the level of a perfect 6-star Do-D, the heavenly demon whale had already reached the early 8-star Do-D stage. Still, Xiao had his own methods to deal with it. Can you keep the seawater from touching me? Xiao asked hesitantly. I'll try my best. Xiaoqi's expression grew serious. The pressure of the seawater beneath these 3 islands was far stronger than elsewhere, and even Xiao couldn't guarantee that her wind-based life force would continuously fend off the water's corrosive nature. As long as the seawater doesn't touch me, I have a way to deal with it. Xiao offered her a reassuring nod. He had realized that the moment the mysterious seawater made contact with him, his flame powers would be halved in strength. But if they could keep the water at bay, the strange restriction would not be able to affect him. Boom, boom, boom. The heavenly demon whale was enraged. As the guardian of this ancient relic, it had seen many powerful humans enter the area during the last opening of the ruins. But under its watch, not a single one had stepped foot on the 3 islands. They had all perished. The whale took pride in this. After all, there were incredibly valuable treasures within these islands. Were it not for an agreement with a certain individual, the whale's pride would have driven it to take those treasures for itself long ago. Go! The heavenly demon whale, dismissive of both Xiao and Xiao, didn't even bother using its strongest attack. And no wonder. The whale's power made it easy to gauge the strength of its opponents. One was an early 7-star Do-D, and the other was merely a perfect 6-star Do-D. To the whale, they were courting death. But this arrogance gave Xiao the breathing room he needed. Netherworld heavenly wrath. As the whale launched another attack, Xiao could no longer hold back. His soul force surged, and he unleashed a devastating blow at the beast. Splash! Invisible soul energy collided with the whale's towering water column, creating a breathtaking rainbow in midair. Impressive, kid. Your soul power is terrifying, the whale growled, startled. For a magical beast, soul attacks were especially deadly. However, thanks to some unique traits, it was immune to such attacks. Otherwise, Xiao strike might have caused real damage. It's not over. Xiao yelled, realizing his soul attack hadn't been effective. He clenched his teeth, his soul force pulling back. Suddenly, the whale saw dazzling flames erupt from Xiao body in rings of brilliance. Flame power? Human, you forget where you are. No matter how powerful your flames are, in the ocean, you're doomed. Perish, this is not a place for the likes of you. The whale sneered, thrashing its enormous tail against the azure waters. With that movement, the once calm sea roared to life, sending towering waves, hundreds of meters high, surging behind the whale. The sheer force was overwhelming. This creature's control over the ocean is terrifying. We can't handle that wave, Xiao muttered, focusing on keeping the seawater at bay with her wind-based life force while keeping a close eye on the battle. Let's retreat for now. This beast, Xiao suggested, worried about Xiao, a hint of retreat in her voice. It's too late to retreat. So, we fight. Xiao gritted his teeth. His powerful soul force revealed to him the truth behind the wave. The whale had infused it not only with the ocean's unique power, but also with its own. The combination of these forces would be enough to make even a mid-8-star Do-D retreat. Skyfire 3 mysterious changes. Immortal body. Imperial flame. Facing the whale's terrifying attack, equal to that of an early 8-star Do-D, Xiao dared not hold back, unleashing every skill he had. This guy! Xiao watched in awe as Xiao was enveloped in a radiant golden giant form. His aura had surged to the level of a mid-7-star Do-D, and the giant's golden exterior was slowly cloaked in brilliant flames. Setting everything else aside, just the fact that he's a Do-D makes him incredibly terrifying. Although his Do-D body might not fully block the heavenly demon whale's attacks, it can significantly weaken them. The sudden surge in power alone shows just how high-level this secret technique is. Xiao, as an early 7-star Do-D, knew very well how immense the gap was between each level of a 7-star Do-D. Yet, Xiao was somehow able to forcefully raise his power by 2 levels using a powerful secret technique. Such a technique must be at least of sacred class. The sacred class was incredibly rare, which made Xiao even more suspicious about Xiao background. And on top of that, the intense heat from the brilliant flames made Xiao take Xiao more seriously. If that's the case, perhaps they really stood a chance against the heavenly demon whale. You humans certainly carry a lot of treasures, the heavenly demon whale sneered. But the absolute difference in strength isn't something you can overcome with mere trinkets. Die. The whale seemed briefly surprised by Xiao sudden rise in power and his golden Do-D body, but in the next moment it spoke again. No matter what Xiao did, it was clear that today would be his end. Not necessarily. Xiao could tell the whale wasn't attacking yet because of its arrogance. But it was this very arrogance that gave Xiao the chance to strike back. The Skyfire 3 mysterious changes has temporarily boosted my strength to the level of a mid-7-star Do-D, but even with my immortal body and imperial flame, it might still be tough to deal with the heavenly demon whale, Xiao muttered, his gaze shifting uncertainly toward Xiao. Sigh, no point in overthinking it. Let's just deal with this beast first. If I'm exposed, so be it. Having made his decision, Xiao spoke up. What's this guy up to? Xiao wondered, maintaining the protective barrier around them to keep the seawater at bay. But he noticed Xiao gaze lingering on him. It's been a while since any human has come here. I'm curious to see what makes this one stand out, the heavenly demon whale mused calmly, as if Xiao actions were futile. But the human's flames, they're similar to someone from the 3 Great Islands, though much weaker. That guy said if I ever encountered a human with exceptionally strong flames, I must allow him entry into the ruins. I wonder why. The whale muttered to itself, but the towering, hundreds of meters high wave behind it still radiated a terrifying and soul-shaking power. Let's see what you've got. Xiao spoke softly, as a brilliantly glowing, earthy yellow flame replaced the dazzling imperial flame. It was none other than Fireheart Heavenly Rock, ranked 35th on the Sacred Flame list. Is that Sacred Flame? Xiao exclaimed in shock as Xiao Sacred Flame erupted. The temperature around them skyrocketed, and Xiao couldn't help but gape in disbelief. Sacred Flames were the most powerful fire attribute items in existence. Nothing could rival them. Anyone possessing a Sacred Flame was unheard of, even in the mystic 3 heavens. Not even the Incense Pavilion Master had more than a tiny fragment of one, and those old monsters in Pill Valley had nothing close. That flame. The heavenly demon whale's eyes widened in surprise as it locked onto the fiery glow surrounding Xiao. At the same time, it felt a burning sensation spread through its body. Could this be what that guy from the 3 Great Islands was talking about? The whale murmured, astonished. That figure, powerful even by the whale's standards, was someone the whale had no choice but to submit to. His words were not to be taken lightly. It seems this human cannot be killed, the whale thought, though the massive destructive wave behind it didn't waver in the slightest. Even if that guy's words are true, if you can't survive my attack, you won't live long enough to reach the ruins. Let's see just how powerful this legendary sacred flame really is. The whale made its decision and waited for Xiao attack. Xiao, meanwhile, sensed something odd about the whale's behavior, his brow furrowing. Has this whale lost its mind? Xiao wondered aloud as he manipulated the Fireheart Heavenly Rock, while also preparing the sky-breaking rock burial to give the whale a deadly surprise. The whale remained still, which puzzled him even more. Sky-breaking rock burial. In no time, Xiao, cloaked in his golden immortal body, hurled a blindingly bright ball of earthy yellow flame straight toward the heavenly demon whale. Well done. The heavenly demon whale sensed a sacred, scorching force from the blazing fireball and hesitated no longer. In a flash, a colossal wave surged behind it, crashing fiercely towards the fireball. Boom, boom. Boom! The deafening impact echoed across the entire sea. But the massive blue wave was brutally pierced through by the fireball. What terrifying power! Xiao couldn't help but murmur in awe, her lips slightly parting as she gazed at the chaos unfolding over the ocean. Break for me! In the next moment, Xiao Yan's resolute voice rang out as he swung a massive, earth-yellow flaming ruler, using the momentum of the fireball's force to slash directly at the heavenly demon whale. Bang! 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 The fiery clash between the fireball and the giant wave left both sides in shambles, their energies dissipating into the sea. Yet, at the same time, Xiao Yan's next round of attacks burst forth once more. This human, he's stronger than I thought, the heavenly demon whale muttered to itself, surprised that its proud attack, meant to obliterate Xiao Yan, had been countered by a single fireball. And even more shocking, Xiao Yan showed no signs of exhaustion and continued his assault. Enough? The heavenly demon whale smiled faintly, a strange serenity in its expression. Startled by this eerie smile, Xiao Yan hesitated for a moment,